Hello, thank you for clicking on the video. I've decided I'm just going to add a few videos onto this page now over the next while, just to answer a lot of questions I've been getting, queries, comments, stuff like that. So, just in relation to counselling and psychotherapy, there's a bit of confusion I think out there about what actually counselling and psychotherapy is, and the question is, do I need counselling and psychotherapy? So the first thing I'd say is if you feel you need counselling and psychotherapy, you kind of know the answer yourself. I wouldn't be the one to be giving you that advice, but I would say that if you'll know when you need it. If it gets to the stage where you're in crisis, you're talking about harming yourself, something like that, counselling and psychotherapy isn't an emergency service. It's basically a long-term commitment between you and a therapist. So I would say in those cases, it's a good idea just to contact someone like Samaritans, who are excellent at dealing with this, at 116123, or in absolute crisis, the Gardaí or the ambulance service, or someone that's an emergency service that can give you that support. But please do reach out. Do reach out, just because it might be just the thing you need. You might just need to talk to somebody. Um, I'm actually recording this on the heels of a number of suicides that I've heard recently, and obviously suicide affects everybody. It's really, really devastating. So I think that's probably my motivation for putting this video up, to hope that people will reach out and don't let anything stand in your way with just asking for help. Anyone that contacts me, whether they join with me as a therapist and client relationship, or if they just want to chat, everything is confidential. I won't share what you're saying to me with anyone. So there's obviously going to be exceptions, very few exceptions to confidentiality with all therapies, and that's harm to yourself. So if you ring me and you're talking about I'm going to harm myself, obviously my interest is for you not to harm yourself and to try and help you. So in those circumstances, I'll work with you to help you, and that'll be the only breach, but it'll be very subtle and it'll be worked with you. So do I need counselling and or psychotherapy? Do I need it? Simply, you know yourself. When it comes to that point, you'll be able to make that decision. So who do you pick? Is it the closest person to you, the furthest person to you? There's probably a few thousand of different psychotherapy techniques now. And if I'm asked which is the best, there is no answer to that, because it's not up to me to decide that. I know which I prefer. There are other areas I really respect and I look up to, and I think they're amazing. But which is the best is a very personal decision for you. They found through research that the best therapy is the relationship between the client, which is you, and the therapist, which is me. So my point being, it's so important that when you're searching for the therapist that's right for you, it's not just to get therapy and get it over with, get in and get out. It's not about that. It's about you're going to engage with a probably a fairly long term, not huge term. It's changed to what it was, but a longer term than you probably would 4 or 5 or 6 sessions, which you'd get with CBT. And you're talking about probably a year, depending on what your need is. So basically, you're going to engage with a therapist that you like. It's very important that you like the therapist. If you walk into me and you instantly go, nope, don't like him, you'll have a reason for that, which is fine. I certainly won't be offended, and I don't think any therapist would be offended with you turning around and saying, no, sorry, it's not for me, I'm moving on. Actually, the therapist would encourage you, a good therapist would encourage you to look around, try 3 or 4 or 5, whatever number you feel is comfortable for you, to see which therapist suits. And if I recommend a therapist, like a friend recommends, oh, that fella down there is brilliant, he's great, he's a fantastic therapist, and you go in and he's crap. Now, it's not him, obviously, but there's something just not clicking. So I'd say to you, when you go to a therapist, you'll feel that. You'll walk in, you'll see, yeah, I'm comfortable here. I like the way I'm being held in this position and we're talking nicely. It's really comfortable. Well, that's a good indicator that this relationship is going to work. So it's not so much about the counselling psychotherapy, it's more about, do you like the person you're with? Because this could be long term. And it shouldn't feel hard. It shouldn't feel, but obviously it's going to be hard. The growth process of therapy is quite difficult, but the relationship shouldn't be hard, is my point. So I hope that's kind of touched on one of the questions answered. If not, please leave a comment underneath and just let me know what you think. I will be answering more questions as the time goes on. Thanks for looking.